This is Let's Talk About Magnum PI, the podcast from fans for fans of Magnum PI.
Hello, you guys. Welcome to another episode of Let's Talk About Magnum PI.
We are back!
It's like we weren't on the hiatus, so not surprising that we're back.
But still, new week, new us, we're back.
New week, new us. What did you do to make new you this week?
Well, new me in a bad way.
Oh,
we have not had the easiest weeks, either of us.
oh my goodness, no. Oh my goodness, no. So, for reference, I think everybody else who's in Europe probably feels similar to me, where you're in limbo between being scared, being angry, being tired of this shit. Somewhere between.
Yeah.
Plus, we're not only in the threat of a war. Like, currently, it's not affecting us, but we're in the threat of a war if shit's going sideways. Unless you're Ukrainian, then obviously it's affecting you directly. We're also still in a pandemic. And what affects me is we're also in a bit of a economical crisis. Yay!
All wrapped into one little bow.
Little? Massive.
Okay, big bow.
It's like a massive bow. Now.
Big bow. Yeah.
Which in turn is one little scene of today's episode did not age well.
No, it did not.
At all. Super bad timing.
Yeah.
Which honestly nobody could have foreseen, but, and when you as a European wake up in the morning to the news of a massive nuclear power bomb being under threat and being on fire in the country where Pripyat is located, aka Chernobyl, it doesn't necessarily make you think of...
It does not sit well.
Yeah. Lots of thoughts of radiation poisoning, nuclear fallout. I have to admit I might have bought a little bit more canned food that I technically need today, because it's quite good.
Should have bought a plane ticket. Come see me.
Yeah, that's the next thing I'm gonna do. If that's going sideways, I'm going to Montreal.
Yeah.
Bye.
We've already spoken. She's already made plans that if it gets to insanity even more than it already is, she's gonna come take refuge in Canada.
I'm packing this little guy and my parents, and we're off.
Mm-hmm.
And from there we're going to Hawaii, let's be real.
Yeah.
Where things seem to still be nice. Any case, mentioning radiation, radiated fish in Fukushima was a little bit of a slam and slap back to reality, and I didn't need that today.
Yeah, it was...
I was happy being in the Magnum bubble, and dude, was I happy being in this Magnum bubble. This was a good one.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, everyone can already guess what my favorite part of the episode was.
Yeah, so what was your week?
Work falling to absolute shit. We had our quarterly evaluations.
Oh,
and,
sounds like fun.
Let's just say, it didn't go, as well as it should have, or maybe well at all. It was weird because, like, the verbal comments that he was giving me were, like, super negative, but then, like, everything that he actually wrote in the evaluation, which counts, was, like, okay and fine. So I was like, okay, so, like, mixed messaging, and, like, all the, like, 90% of the bad stuff that was, like, brought up had nothing to do with me. It had everything to do with like the general, our basically.
Reminds me of my boss's current behavior towards me.
Yeah. It's just like, and then, but like in the same breath, then my boss goes, but when the branch closes, like, where I'm going, they might need the job that you're like up for a promotion for, so like, did you want to come with me? I was like, well, fucking pick, like.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, so that, what are we today, Friday? So that was yesterday. Didn't eat lunch because I was, crying. And then had to put up with it all today, but it was a little bit better today because the manager from the branch that we're merging with, actually came to our branch today, so there was the two of them, and they were kind of like butting heads, like, which was really funny. It was really funny to see my boss get a little bit territorial, because the other boss, she was like, well, she's like, of course you're going to come up and see us once this branch closes. And then my boss was like, but in the meantime, if you need anything, I'm here. And it was like,
oh, that sounds like fun.
Like punching each other in the face, kind of like silent war for, again, bad.
That's hilarious.
Timing, but yeah,
that's hilarious.
So not the easiest of weeks, but at least we got to end it on. Well, I guess technically I got to end it. You started your weekend with Magnum, right?
Yes. Though I haven't been sleeping yet, so.
Oh, okay.
Technically it's an end. And the reason why I haven't been sleeping is because Dancing with the Stars, or we call it Let's Dance, but it's essentially the same thing, is back, and guilty pleasure of mine. Love it.
It's like me and Survivor. Another CBS
also, for once, actually a celebrity that I like in there, so I'm like cheering, and she's good. And her husband is currently on the way with medicine and shit on the way to Ukraine. And he's a German celebrity too, and he's in a car with another German celebrity who's kind of cute, but not the brightest candle on the cake. But anyway, I'm like, dude, guys, that's pretty fucking awesome. Not that I expected anything less from them, but nice.
Right on.
So yeah, that's why I haven't been in bed, because it runs really fucking late, and I'm not gonna go to bed for like an hour. That would mean I get zero actual rest. So
yeah,
here we are. Haven't slept at all.
Fun!
Yes, and if anybody of you wants to know, I haven't been able to cry this week, though I needed, because I brought a little souvenir from Hawaii. Kava.
Ah.
I'm like decked out on kava for that.
Nice.
I've never been that relaxed, honestly.
Yeah, that was the one thing. She's like, we're gonna do it. I was like,
She never did.
I did not.
It's so good. It's not, at least for me, it's not in your face, but like when I'm at the height of my anxiety and stress, I can actually think about doing tasks.
Yeah.
I'm functional. Like, dude, that's awesome stuff. It's also not technically a drug, so it's just really just relaxes you. It's all that it does. There's no being high. It just takes the edge off, at least for me. Let's talk about the episode for real, though.
Yeah,
for real. Can I start with something? The referee at the tug of war.
Oh, he commented on something on mine at one point.
Yeah, it's like I've seen him around. I've known he would be on. Sorry.
Pulling a Thomas.
Yeah, pulling a Thomas apparently. I've seen him around. We knew. Well, he's been quite vocal about being on the show. If you have him on social media, which we do, and now we've seen him on the show, I'm like, kind of been oversold. You kind of oversold your role. It's stupid.
Just a little.
It felt like a blink and you'll miss him.
He kind of.
Unless he's back in another episode that we don't know of.
Maybe. Do you remember when we were in Hawaii and I was like, why is Rich King back?
Yeah, I do remember.
And I was like, I don't understand it. And then, lo and behold, it all makes sense now.
Yeah. This one scene is quite familiar for us, isn't it? The final scenes.
Yes.
Quite familiar, and
very, very familiar.
one scene in the beginning, which was also one of the sneak peeks, that location was quite familiar too, wasn't it? If you haven't seen our Hawaii episode, the sneak peek location was the one that we missed.
The apartment.
When we were in Kualoa, and the beach location was the one that we didn't miss, but stumbled upon by accident. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there was Paradise Park.
Yeah, which we didn't get a chance to see.
I mean, it's a close location.
Yeah.
So we knew it was happening, but
yeah, we couldn't.
Besides, it was raining.
It was. Yeah, I remember that morning.
It was raining outside.
I remember that morning like it was yesterday.
Is literally. I think we even said that when it was dry, where we were, and we looked up to where Paradise Park is. Like, yeah, it's
no. Yeah, we're not doing that.
We're doing something down here. We're sunny.
We're just gonna.
Much nicer.
Just gonna stay right here. Just gonna do a little. Just do a little stay right here.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah,
I'm happy we did.
I
want to talk about Farrell Higgins because that was my jam.
That is something that I really fucking enjoyed. Yeah,
I loved it. I loved the callback to 203 when she was like elbow like against.
Oh, girl.
Like, I'm gonna fuck you up so hard.
She was a little bit more into this one than in 203. Like
100%.
Her stakes have been raised, I believe.
Mm-hmm. And I just love
something
her
has changed.
Yeah,
dude.
She's like, I think about what I'm gonna do to the person. I was like, Higgy throwing down the smack.
I fully expected, and I gotta rewatch to see if it didn't happen. But I fully expected a look to give him that she would give him a look like when he said that he knows how she feels, like a look that tells everybody like you've no idea.
Yeah, you have no idea. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to rewatch.
That we all know, because we know about the dream and we know about Dr. Ababa. It's a slight change, a slight difference in between the relationship between Rick and Magnum and Katie and Magnum.
Yeah.
Though Rick assumes that they're like on the same level, except they're not. There is this difference, so
yeah,
he doesn't know how she feels.
The question is, does it keep going till the very end? I mean, you know my prediction.
It's the same prediction for me. It's the same prediction for me. I feel like, given how it was framed.
Yeah, I was gonna say it would frame everything so well.
Yeah. And it's going into that direction. We have the completely, and I'll die on this hill, completely subconscious recognition of Magnum of his feelings towards her, even though he doesn't have any single clue that the candles is about his feelings towards her. But he is. It's just so subconscious that he doesn't even realize what he just did.
Mm-hmm.
It's just right there. Someone just needs to grab them and go boom. But they don't have the intrinsic motivation to go there, especially not Magnum because he's still not there.
Yeah, he's still. I mean,
and Higgins is way too.
For those of you who are not watching it on YouTube, Eve just basically fell off of her chair.
I almost fell back. Oh my goodness. Yeah, so that happened. Where was I?
Magnum is not there. Higgins has her.
Yeah, fears and reservations.
Yeah, but she knows. She knows how she feels. I believe
she knows,
but she's not willing to admit it.
She also might still be a little bit in denial because scary shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, not fully in denial. She knows that it's there, but she'd like it to not be there right now.
Yeah. She's at the point where she's not quite there. I mean, we have now 16, 17, 18, 19, 20.
And also, she's just been reminded of how much it would hurt losing him.
Yeah. So, we'll see the progression over the next 5 episodes. We'll see if the prediction that I think most fans...
Dude, it's prediction, not prediction. You're way too deep in Perdita land here.
No, I'm just tired. Been up since 9:00 in the morning because again I don't sleep. So, like I was at work today and I was so tired my eyes were hurting.
I feel that. I barely slept last night.
Yeah.
I think I'm like, yeah, I've been awake for 24 hours now.
Yeah. So my brain is not functioning properly and I'm also thinking in like a little bit of French is seeping in there as well.
Aww, mon Dieu.
Because I had I think my last like 3 or 4 clients that I served today was all in French and my brain just went there.
I had a conversation today where I randomly switched into English and they were stupidly excited for the fact that there's not much of a German accent in there. I still don't know what kind of accent I have, but it's not this distinct German Z and bass one that
it's not. I mean, I can tell you what I used to think it was when I first met you.
Go ahead.
I thought British with like a hint of like Australian. That's what it sounded like to me when I like had first met you and didn't know you all that well. I was like, okay, yeah.
Makes sense. Kind of makes sense. Because, again, I don't know if I have ever said that, but I was in school in England for a while.
Yeah, I don't know, so. I mean, I know you've told me, but I don't know if you've mentioned it on the show.
I was in school in England for a while. I've got some Kiwi friends, actually, that I hung out with a lot, so, yeah.
Definitely. That was my initial...
I always call it clusterfuck because there's some words that I save in accents that I learned from different people, so...
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. It's a clusterfuck. Anyhow, and we deviated once again, as we usually do. I have one major critique about the episode. Major
deal.
Levy.
What about Levy?
I am so sad for the MacGyver fandom. And for us. Because given everything that we know about the character that she played, she could have been Desi. She could have been Desi undercover. And she wasn't.
Yeah.
Well, apparently she wasn't. And it just feels like, guys, they are technically in the same universe. What the hell?
I feel like they left it open for her to be able to come back, too.
Yes, they did. They did.
They 100%
I mean, they
left
could
open.
still flip it, and have her be Desi, who's undercover in HPD, undercover in Yakuza for whatever reason. But still, it just felt like, oh, it kind of hurt. I've only started watching MacGyver late, because here's the thing with me. There are some actors that I really cannot connect with, can't click with, or can watch because of personal experiences. For example, I will never be able to watch The Rookie because of personal experiences with an actor in there. I've seen one episode, I've seen scenes of JLE in one episode, because I bought that episode and skipped everything else. And that guy in season 1 to season 3-ish, the guy that Henry Cusick took over from ish, he's one of the actors that I can't connect with. So that's why I haven't watched much of MacGyver in the early seasons.
I've never seen an episode of MacGyver, if I'm being quite transparent.
Actually watched the crossover episode of MacGyver with 5-0.
Oh yes, okay, that's true. I've seen that. So
in Hawaii, by the way.
Yeah.
I couldn't help myself. It was free for some reason. Apparently, IMDb TV is a thing.
Yeah, in America, yeah.
And it's free. And
yeah.
I was even here like, A, never heard of that before, except I had it in Hawaii, and B, cool, MacGyver is free. Let me watch. And I actually started watching the season, and season 1. And yeah, I'm reinforced in the fact that I do not click with that actor, but everybody else was great. His acting, awesome. Just doesn't do anything for me.
Yeah,
that's like, it's a me problem. It's not a him problem. It's a me problem.
Yeah, I have to catch up on a lot of those shows. I've not watched MacGyver at all.
I need to catch up on NCIS Hawaii for the sole reason that I bloody well walked on set. Like, there was literally a sign that told me, oh, you might be on camera. So yeah. I need to watch that.
Yeah, I mean,
watch out this episode for our heads, but I didn't see us.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't see us either. Because we were told to get out of the shot. But
we were still in the shot. Like, there's literally where we still was seen in the shot.
Yeah, I know. I was like, hey, we were standing right there.
Yeah, it's like, get out of the shot. You tell us to get out of the shot by placing us on a different part of the shot.
Yeah, it was just
we listened to you. So
yeah, we did.
By the way, we didn't know until today that we were technically in the shot still.
Yeah. We did not know. We trusted the crew to know where the shot was.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah. These guys know what they're doing.
They're supposed to know.
This is also why we haven't published any of these pictures before, well, in the podcast earlier than on social media, but
yeah.
We didn't want to get anybody in trouble, and we talked to the crew, and there was like technically you can't take pictures. So, yeah. We operated in the gray zone, and we waited until there was some form of content. Had there not been promo pictures of that scene, we wouldn't have published it until now.
I love that scene too, by the way.
Oh,
going
yeah,
back to the show.
Awesome. It's awesome. Going back to the show.
I loved that scene.
Mm-hmm.
That was, for me, one of the scenes of the night.
Yeah, still. Multi-episode.
Yeah.
Because he's more than one. It's still multi-episode.
Yeah. And he got his ass handed to him by Magnum in the first one, if you do recall.
And now in the second one, by a dying Magnum.
True.
So... Buddy, you gotta step up your game if you want to come back.
Yep. And we also know that MPI does not have the best track record with bringing back villains.
Oh, don't we know that? Don't we know that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, we'll see. I mean, maybe he'll be back, like, if we get another season in another season.
Maybe,
but
maybe not.
I'd like to see him again.
He's cool. He's really cool.
No, I'd like to see him again. There's very few, like, people that they've gone up against that I would like to see again. He's one of them, Maya's the other, and Ivan's the other.
Yeah. I'm personally excited about who we saw posting from the finale set. David Anders.
Yeah, so you have to tell me, okay, everyone's gonna hate me for this. I don't know who he is.
I can't blame you. I think I know that you watched Once Upon a Time. Is that correct?
I did.
Dr. Whale.
Oh, okay.
Did you watch iZombie?
No.
Okay, then you know him as Dr. Whale.
Okay.
David Anders is also, he happens to get cast as a bad guy quite a lot.
Okay.
So he was a bad guy in iZombie, and he really pulls it off. And then I actually happen to have met the guy.
Okay.
So far from being a bad guy, he's like the nicest dude. He's awesome. He's so funny.
Yeah.
Which is one of the reasons why I'm stupidly excited about that, because I love that for him. I like the guy.
Yeah. Everyone's like really excited, and I feel like I'm pretty in this situation, like thinking about like Bobby's podcast where they're like, do you know do you know who they are? And I'm like, no. I don't know.
Yeah. He's very prolific. He's been in a lot of shows.
I'm gonna have to Google this guy now.
He happens to be a very frequent one-episode guest. Or 2-episode guests, and then there's this few shows that you've caught that he's in for more than one episode. He's like literally the main villain of iZombie.
Okay.
Like the only villain that pulls through all of the seasons.
So potential villain incoming.
Oh yeah, first thing that I thought, villain.
I remember you writing that to me. You're like, holy crap, he's on set. And
Yeah.
I think he's gonna play villain.
There is something about the fact that he does get cast as a villain quite often. Because he can pull it off.
I was just saying, just by looking at him, like, the pictures that I have seen of him, like, it does look like he could play a villain.
Oh, he can. He's, like I said, if you meet him, stupidly nice guy. But dude, you can actually love to hate the guy. he can make you love to hate him. He's that good.
That's a good villain for you, right?
So. And he's something that I always do. He's good at dying on camera. He doesn't do these prolonged. I'm delivering a monologue thing. He's just dying, and he does it believably. Yeah, I do too. Let's just go back to the episode. Jay Hernandez is apparently good at dying too.
Who?
Jay Hernandez.
I mean, do you know the picture we saw when we were in Hawaii? We're like, oh, Jay looks really tired. And it was not because Jay was tired.
It was actually because Jay was tired. Because if you remember, that was at the beginning of the episode. Also, the makeup department. You guys nailed it. You could see the progression in paleness in the guy.
Makeup does a super good job.
Yeah, it's also something that I found bloody fucking rare in shows. Like, the correct progression in paleness?
Mm-hmm.
Dude!
Yeah.
I'm impressed!
Yeah, like, big thumbs up to the wardrobe and hair and makeup, like...
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
These guys are freaking heroes.
Oh, on the topic of hair. Higgy in the promo for next episode. Her hair. I'm not over it.
It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. Higgy with a headband in general is gorgeous.
Yes, tug of war when she was at the tug of war, which I thought was awesome.
Yeah. So, we've never even talked about what the hell the episode is about.
We just talked about dying Magnum.
And Feral Higgy, I still can't. That woman, the moment she found out about everything, she just zeroed in, got Feral, and
yeah,
she can be really scary. And nobody.
We knew that.
Yeah, but let's talk about the guys' reaction to how scary she can get.
They're like, oh, back off.
Not even that.
Fucking cross her.
Not even that. TC and Rick were slightly unfazed by this, which is like, yeah, they're used to this. They're used to Higgy getting feral when it comes to this kind of shit. That's just their Higgy. And they know to warn people, because yeah, that guy...
Didn't Rick literally say to the guy that Higgins was attacking, like, you don't want to mess with her?
Yeah, he did. And he's right. I mean, Higgy would have killed that guy.
Oh, for sure. She said it! She's like, God help the guy that I'm gonna, like, whoever's in charge, like, whoever did it.
Yeah.
I need to rewatch it, because, like, now I can't remember the lines, but,
You've seen the episode once! By the way, anyone who watches Magnum P.I., except for new episodes, if you watch Magnum P.I. with this woman, she talks along.
It's my one of my fatal flaws in life. Like, I cannot, for the life of me...
Shut up!
No, I cannot for the life of me retain anything that I need for, like, an exam or anything. But lines to any TV show that I've seen, I got you covered.
Yeah, that's not me. I used to be able to, I think I still can say every line in Lord of the Rings. Maybe even Harry Potter. That's about it. Like, that talent left me somewhere in my 20s.
I can quote all of Titanic. That's, like, I think the one movie that I can quote, like, 3 hours.
I literally only know one quote.
Which is?
Paint me like one of your French girls.
Oh.
That's the only one.
Paint me like one of your French girls. Yeah, because, yeah, the line leading up to that is like, I don't need another one of those stuffy portraits. I don't want to look like that anymore. And then he's like, what do you want? She's like, I want you to paint me like one of your French girls.
There we are. She can quote Titanic. This is one of the movies that I rarely watch, by the way.
I watch it because this environment that I am currently in for the longest time, up until I'd say maybe about 5 years ago, all we had was VHS. So video cassettes. We did not have a DVD player. We did not have anything like that. We did not have cable. And then about 5 years ago, we finally got a DVD player. So
just in time for Magnum.
No, DVD player doesn't help me with Magnum. Cable was only 2 years ago. So, but
Magnum DVDs, what the hell?
Yeah, but it doesn't help me watching live stuff. Anyways, so when I was a kid, and I was stuck with VHS and being, okay, it's gonna sound so stupid because I'm not an only child, but I grew up as an only child.
It doesn't sound stupid. Same.
Because my brother's so much older than me, and he moved out so young. So, but I spent a lot of time by myself as a kid, especially in this house, because it's not my house that I grew up in. But so I watched a lot of movies, and one of the movies that I watched many times over was Titanic, because it was one of the only ones that I had on VHS. So.
Back to the episode. For once, and this is something I really need to mention, for once, A, you can actually relate the title to the content of the episode, and B, the title was mentioned in the episode.
I remember he was like, "Oh, dead man walking," and I was like, "Ooh, sly."
Yes, for once it was mentioned.
Yeah.
Not that it's a requirement, but A, it's actually, you can actually tell that this is the episode, and B, as we mentioned, like, we go that far.
They did it once before that I can think of off the top of my head. In 301, which was Double Jeopardy, and
but
it's the Double Jeopardy rule.
That is last season. We were talking about we were, doing this season where we're like, yo, I don't see how the title relates to the episode, especially with, what was it called? If I should die before you wake or something.
Oh yeah,
everybody was a little bit confused about how that related.
Now I don't even remember what that one was about.
That's the other one with Tower in it.
Oh yeah, the church. Okay, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that doesn't really. Yeah, it's true. It doesn't really add up. I mean, like, some of them like are related, but they're not specific. Like Texas Wedge.
It was one of the clubs that was missing, so it's and you could tell based on that title.
Till Death, the wedding one.
Very related.
Yeah.
For once, but then you have stuff like that one that I mentioned where you're like, ooh, what?
Yeah. I'm trying to think. Now I can't even remember, like, what the, like, Island Vibes.
Yeah.
That had nothing to do with anything. Unless you think about, like, Higgins not being on the island, but...
No, makes...
Like, it's
doesn't relate. There's not much of Aloha vibe anywhere, except for... Okay, can I just mention something about episode 1 that has been gnawing at my brain? You guys remember when Thomas comes into HPD carrying this box and Leah goes... Might have even mentioned it before. Leah goes, oh, you've got half a dozen... 5
Cocoa Puffs from Lily Hut's bakery.
In this wonderful bright pink box. Leah's bakery boxes are brown. Bright pink is Leonard's, so technically she should have gone, oh, you've got Malazadas.
Yeah. Yep.
But at least the cream reference is correct. But, like, I was, like, watching back, like, I do remember that box. That did not contain Cocoa Puffs.
Mm-mm.
Ever.
I think if we were to watch it again, it might even say Leonard's on it.
No.
You sure about that?
It was pretty plain. It was pretty plain. It might on the other side, but it was plain.
I don't remember.
At least that! I'm still so amazed by Jay Hernandez's performance. I loved his performance as Sig Magnum. A, it was very believable, and B, I loved how quiet he kept his voice.
Yeah, it's true.
Like, there's a lot of scenes where it feels very loud suddenly when they die. They're very prominent, and he just dialed it back, and Magnum dies and suffers quietly, and I love that.
Yeah, but I actually did... Oh, actually, no, that doesn't... I was going to say... Just because I was like, did they mention in that first scene where they were practicing for tug of war when the tug of war was? No, they didn't say how many days it was.
I assumed it was going to be the next day.
Yeah, me too. And
well, apparently not. Apparently
it was a few days later.
Yeah, which makes sense. Otherwise, Magnum would not have been up for that.
No, yeah. He was like, oh, a rough couple of days. And I was like, oh, okay. So that's how they're going to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I can't blame them for it. It's, unless you've got a distinct storyline where you want to show something, the recovery is, might be a little bit of something that we don't need to see.
Yeah.
Personally, from a storyteller point of view, what's the point in injuring your character if it doesn't have any repercussions later? But the consequences were in the episode itself. A, he was under enormous stress, and B, we saw how it affected everybody around him. And that's all that this injury was supposed to do.
Yeah.
Other injuries aren't supposed to do anything, so they're just like, who cares? We don't need to see the recovery from them because they don't have any impact. They're just there for reality's sake.
Exactly.
Which is fair. This one did its job, so we can gloss over.
Yeah. That was well done. Well played.
And then we have injuries that actually have consequences and need to have consequences, like Juliet's in season 3, where we had to pull it over multiple episodes to show the consequences.
Juliet's injury.
Oh my goodness!
Oh, the gun.
Yes!
The gunshot.
The gunshot that we saw in 2 episodes, where we saw him being absolutely bloody worried about him, and then, well, her. Hello, haven't slept for 24 hours, yay!
Yeah, and then it being mentioned again.
And shown again.
Yeah.
So there was this fear element that you had to show it again, and you had to see how deeply he cared about that. It's valid to see it. After that, it was gone, essentially. But if it serves the storyline, they pull this injury and the recovery further.
I'd love to see, because in the next episode she's wearing like a crop top with leggings. I'd love to see if they give her a scar. They won't, but it would be cool if they did.
I'm not even sure if they actually know where the gunshot wound is, because I'm not sure if it has been... The continuity has been sound between 301 and 302. I think it might have migrated a little bit higher at one point, or lower.
I'm trying to think, because she grabs her side in 301.
It's the same side.
Yeah.
It's just...
Oh. Did I lose you? I think I lost you there for a sec.
A tiny sec. The side is correct.
Yeah.
I think
I'm trying
the
to
general
angle.
height. Yeah. Again, I might be wrong. It's been 24 hours since I slept, and it's been a hot minute since I've seen it. So if I'm wrong, correct me. Call me out on it.
This is going to require a rewatch at some point.
Dude, you don't even need an excuse for a rewatch at this point. This is a comfort show. I've been watching
they don't
episodes left, right, and center.
I just realized they don't give her a scar on her shoulder where she got shot in the pilot. Actually, where she got shot multiple times. She's been shot twice in the same spot. Both of them
roughly the same spot. Here's the thing. I should have scars. I, as a person, should have scars, based on how many times someone dug into me with a knife. Even my doctor forgot that happened because he cannot find a scar. So there's some people who literally don't scar like that. Like, the scar is physically there, you can feel it, but you cannot see it.
Yeah, I have a couple of those. I'm like that too.
Wouldn't put it past Tiggy to have these kinds of scars.
Maybe.
Yeah. And in going from there, it also makes sense that Magnum's scars are a little bit more prominent because he did retain some of them in a very unsanitary environment. Also, one of them has been cauterized, so yeah, there's that.
Yeah, because he's got the gunshot wound on his shoulder from Hannah, and he's got the one in his abdomen side, that got cauterized. Yeah, those are the 2 that he has that are, like, the prominent ones.
Yeah, pretty sure there's more.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, so going back to the episode, we have covered Feral Higgy. We
Sick
have...
Magnum.
Yes. By the way, this is something that we've been talking about. You weren't as excited about the episode as I was.
Yeah.
Then last week promo came out. And we have discovered one thing. You had a little bit different expectations than I did for the episode. My expectations were already covered by the promo. So I was saying, I love this episode already.
I kept mine super low.
The promo covered it.
Yeah. No, I kept mine so low that I was like, I mean, this episode is exactly what I had anticipated based on...
This is exactly what I wanted. I've been fed. I wanted an opening for us fanfiction writers to get some stuff to write out. By the way, I am really fucking grateful for that at this point, because there's a lot of energy and outwork bullshit that I want to channel into what I'm about to write tomorrow. Calling myself out on it. Yeah. And I wanted to see Farrell Higgins. Here we go. There's also another tiny requirement that best case scenario that I had.
Mm.
That also came true, so I'm happy.
Which was?
Minimal Jin.
Mm.
Like, don't get me wrong, Jin has his point in some episodes. He's just not a character that I can relate to. He's not serving my humor. I can do without him in 90% of the episodes. His storyline in 90% of the episodes doesn't faze me.
Fair enough.
Except for, the episode before that where his storyline absolutely infuriated me.
Mm.
You cannot open a dog walking business and poison dogs because you have no idea how dogs work. This is dude, basic research. Anyway, he served a purpose in this episode, and beyond that, he was minimally there. So he didn't, it's not like he getting in the way, but he didn't feel like a sore thumb sticking out to me. So, yeah.
Fair enough. Fair. Do we have anything?
He was well done in this one.
Yeah, I agree. Do we have anything else to add?
Yes. Go. I do. Stephen Hill, when TC goes to the chef. Absolutely stellar performance. Loved it.
Yeah, no, that was amazing.
Oh,
see the resemblance? I was like, oh. Yeah, that was good.
Go, TC.
That was good. Good.
Do we have spoilers?
Must check. I never know until I check.
I mean, we have a tiny little bit of a spoiler that's kind of painful to everyone.
The rap date?
Yeah. Next time this podcast comes on, Magnum PI will have wrapped for the season at least.
Yes.
The wrap date is fastly approaching. It's next week.
Yes. Tuesday the 8th.
So not we, but they are filming the finale.
Yes, they are. They even filmed on a Saturday.
Yeah.
Which was interesting. What else? Oh, well, we do have that,
oh, yes!
From TV. Oh, well, we have two, actually. Well, I think I said it on the last one about,
say it again!
TC is gonna get a, love interest by the end of the season.
I think we have said that.
What? I think we did say that.
Yeah.
But then the other one is the Nuzo, which we had already mentioned previously, but this one gives us a little bit more information. So it says...
Exciting!
It seems like Nuzo might reappear on Magnum PI this season. Are we in for a flashback? And then the answer is, as a matter of fact, Dominic Lombardozzi, I'm going to butcher his name, I'm sorry, will reprise his role as Magnum's dearly departed Bud in... Whoop, phone's going a little haywire. In the seasons, they said 14th episode, but it's actually the 18th episode. It's the one Jay directed, which was directed by Jay Hernandez. In this episode, Nuzo is post-mortemly implicated in a murder from 4 years ago, and the Ohana sets out to prove his innocence. For Magnum, it's an opportunity for redemption, seeing as he couldn't save Nusa's life, but now he can preserve his friend's honor. It's a very different kind of episode, and unlike anything we've ever done before, says Eric Guggenheim. We think it's going to be pretty special, and we're excited for everyone to see it.
There is a lot in this article, except for a straight-up answer. The straight-up answer is there's going to be multiple flashbacks.
Yeah.
There is Afghanistan flashbacks.
Yep.
And there is a flashback to Nuzo in Hawaii.
Yes.
Because we've seen both from the man himself. Yeah. On Twitter.
So,
there is another tiny thing that we've seen if you followed social media, and I do not remember her name because I have the memory of a goldfish at the moment. Beth's actress is back.
Oh,
finally.
Yes.
And again, memory of a goldfish.
I don't remember her name either right now. Shoot.
Someone will. But yeah, Beth's gonna be back in the finale-ish.
Yeah.
And on a completely different note, we have been recording that on March the 4th, which is, to which we can say, Happy birthday, Karan.
Oh, yeah! Happy birthday!
Yes.
True.
By the time this comes out, his birthday will have been 2 days ago, but hey!
I'm just scrolling through to see if there's anything else. There is not, except for the promo, which is posted and people can go watch.
Yeah. Yeah. I wish there was a spoiler section for the real events at this point. I do not, and I don't want to know what I'm going to wake up to.
Yeah,
I do know what I'm going to wake up to. I'm going to wake up to writing a fanfic.
Yes, which I am excited because I can't wait for more fanfic content. I'm obsessed.
He's like, when I announce I want to write a one shot, this one turns into a little gremlin.
I'm like, gimme.
Yeah, and she throws ideas at me.
I do, like, non-stop.
Yeah. I got my own fanfiction, like, you can do this. I'm like, this is plotted out.
I'm like, is this gonna happen? What about this? This could happen. What about this? And sometimes you and I were like, you're not even writing anything and we're plotting shit.
Yeah, and half the time someone tries to get me to write.
Could've what?
Half the time someone tries to get me to write it, and half the time I try to get you to actually write it. One of these days.
I've written stuff, I just don't post it.
On a personal update, I'm 22,000 words into my book.
It's true, she's getting there. It's exciting.
It's only 1/4 of the content I planned.
She's got a multi-book arc coming.
Yeah. I've got like a sheet where I wrote everything down that I had ideas for, and I'm like, cool, that's about 13 books. At least what I currently have ideas for, with a multi-book villain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if we have anything else?
No.
maybe the next time that we record this podcast, I will have passed that exam that I aforementioned, because I am writing it next Friday morning, so.
Yeah, you will have passed it by then.
Hopefully.
Next time we will record this will have been after an episode that we've seen the promo for, but for the life of me I cannot remember a synopsis.
We don't have one.
Oh! That's kind of interesting.
We do not. I mean, when did I leave the city? As of about 5 hours ago, we didn't. And I have this weird thing that the internet here, when I go onto the Viacom site, it's like you can't access it in this region, which is weird because I can access it. I'm still in Canada. I'm like only an hour away from where I normally access it. But it's like the Wi-Fi like picks up a weird signal.
I couldn't access it in Hawaii.
It's so weird.
It was literally so funny. In the apartment, I could access it. Around the apartment, I could access it. Down on the beach, couldn't.
Yeah, it's really weird. It's super weird. And I never had an issue. I was checking it the whole time, and it's like the exact same website. I don't get it. Yeah, unless, like, I don't know, like, if it's my phone, if it's the Wi-Fi. It says, sorry, this site is not available from your location. Which is weird, because I haven't actually technically changed locations. I
don't know, maybe you're in bad country.
I mean... Canada's Canada, right? Like,
yeah, theoretically. Speaking of Canada being Canada, don't question how I get to that. What do you think will happen in the finale?
Oh my god. I've said this, but I think Rick and Susie will have their baby. I think there will be some big Miggy moment. I do think that they will kiss, whether or not it's the start of their relationship, or if they both end up being like, oh, that was not what we needed to do at this exact moment, or if like they make it awkward or whatever, I don't know. But I do think they will kiss. That's all I have that I can like concretely be like, I think that's gonna happen. What about you?
I mean, that is basically where most of my money is. Obviously, I think that David Anders is gonna be the villain.
Mm-hmm.
That's about it.
Yeah.
I know that they've not know, but I do assume, based on that picture with David Anders in it, that they filmed at Kappa Quarry.
Yeah, some sort of a quarry, yeah.
There's not many on Oahu, so it's not like you've got much of a choice.
Yeah. I mean, we know it's written by Eric.
I feel like it's gonna be big. It's gonna be big.
If your showrunner writes an episode all by himself.
Yeah, depending on what show you're on, has different implications. On Magnum PI, I would say it's gonna be big. On another show, when the showrunner was writing the episode, I was like, okay, a character's gonna die. And I was right every single time.
I mean, that's also why I think that there'll be that Miggy moment, because like back at Comic-Con in like 2018 or whatever, before the show even started, they were talking about how Eric's like a big Miggy shipper. So if he's writing the finale, it's also directed by the same director that directed the season 1 finale and the season 2 finale, but not the season 3 finale. So, yeah. So take that as you will, but.
There's only one thing I'm hoping for, and I had a little bit of a scare about that this morning. One thing I'm hoping for is Juliet doesn't try to leave the island again.
Yes. That's my thing too. I'm like, if they fucking make her do that, I will be so mad. Like, how many times can this goddamn woman
try to leave the island?
Think about or fucking leave the island, like, fuck!
As for the scare, a little bit of a birdie told me that there might be filming at the airport. They just didn't know what show, or if it was a show, or if it was a movie. Turns out it's lava. So, I'm good.
Yeah.
But like, for a moment I was like, no, they're not gonna make Iggy leave again.
Yeah, you were flipping out. And I was like, oh my god, please God, no. I hope it's... I was like,
the best
it can't be.
Was it when was it for you that I was flipping out?
At like 6 in the morning, maybe even earlier.
Yeah. I started flipping out at like 3 a.m.
Yeah.
And I flipped until like 12
Yeah.
my time.
Yeah. Yeah.
I had a long time flipping out about that. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
She calmed me down, and then eventually we found out it's lava.
I guess.
Speaking of lava, they've been filming in Waikiki again.
A lot.
Yeah.
So did we, though, actually.
Yeah. But, like, I've known people who once again stumbled upon that. I've been sent the odd picture, and they're like, "Oh, is that the show you like?" No, it says lava. My show would literally say MPI on it.
Yeah. So. Don't know if we have anything else.
No, we have a massive need for a bed.
That we do.
Or two. So, we'll see you next time, you guys.
Yeah.
To talk about episode 16, actually.
Yeah. It'll be, episode 16. Ooh, already.
Yeah. Yeah.
Craziness.
Yeah. Okay. See you guys then. Bye.
Bye.